Hey friends, I'm Missy Martin and I'm back with you again this week from Thibodaux Family Church. So I have a whole new series for you that we are getting ready to start. It's called Level Up. Now everyone likes a good challenging video game, right? And the goal is to get to the next level. Well, in our series Level Up, we are going to be looking at the events that surround Jesus' death, his burial, and his resurrection. And when we look at these things, we are going to be challenged to rise up and go to the next level in our faith. Are you ready to complete the challenge with me? Let's do this. Who has ever played Trust Fall? I know that can be kind of scary. Well, right now I want you to find a family member that you can play Trust Fall with. Make sure it's someone that you can trust. All right? And I'm going to give you 30 seconds and I want y'all to take turns falling into each other's arms. How many of you were a little nervous? It can be pretty scary. When you play that game, you definitely want to make sure that you have a partner that you can trust. So, just like on our little game, we learned that it's not always easy to trust. Sometimes it's very hard, especially when we don't know what's going to happen. This reminds me of today's big idea. Jesus trusted God the Father.
Did you know Jesus once did something really scary? Jesus came to earth to save the world. But before he could save you and me, he had to do something really hard. He had to die and then come back to life. That's a big, scary job that only Jesus could do. As the time drew close for this to happen, Jesus began to feel sad and scared. So Jesus asked a few of his friends to go with him to a garden called Gethsemane so he could pray. Wouldn't you feel sad too if you knew something bad was going to happen soon? Jesus knew this was God's plan and that God had everything under control, but he was still a little bit afraid. When Jesus prayed, he asked God if there was any way the world could be saved without him having to die. He prayed 3 times, and every time he finished his prayer with, "God, do what you know is best." Even though he was scared, Jesus trusted that God had a plan for what would happen next. Have you ever had to face something hard? Maybe your family moved to a new town, you started a new school, or someone you loved got sick. It's okay to be scared or sad when those things happen. But the good news is that when those feelings come, we can talk to God about them. We can ask for God's help. And like Jesus, we can say, "God, do what you know is best." Even when he had to do something really scary, Jesus trusted God. And when we're sad or scared, we can trust God too.
You know what's interesting is that Gethsemane, which is the name of the garden Jesus went to pray, that actually means olive press. Olives have very special meanings throughout the Bible, especially the way they need to be crushed and pressed so that something good can come out. So sometimes when we know we're going through a situation and it's scary, we feel pressed, we feel crushed, we feel anxious and worried. I think that's how Jesus might have felt. Even though this was going to be the hardest thing that he would ever have to do, he knew that he could trust God the Father. You know, sometimes God will ask us to do things that are really hard, and it might not be something that we're comfortable with or easy for us. But we know that we can trust God because he loves us and he has the best plans for our lives. So because we know that God wants our best, let's take this week to level up and do what he asks us to do. Well, as we close out our time today, I want you to remember that something good can come out of the pressing. Think about that olive press. And maybe if you have some fresh lemons around the house, how about trying to make some fresh lemonade at your house? Now, you know, in order to make really good fresh lemonade, you have to press that lemon. You have to roll it and push down and give it some pressure so that all the juices can get concentrated and get ready to be squeezed out. Then you cut that lemon in half and squeeze hard. And in that squeezing and in that pressing, you're going to create something delicious and something wonderful. And as you do that, I want you to remember today's Bible story, what Jesus went through for you and what Jesus went through for me. And remember that you can trust God.